Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndieWrestling.us and IndieWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you got to do, make it last. Wait for the perfect.
It is a Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 846. Tuesdays, we've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we got a crew with us this evening. Programming note, we do not have Ziggy Heim with us. She unfortunately is under the weather, so we are attempting to reschedule that in the future. We will have the champion of the internet sooner or later on the show. In the meantime, we do have with us a champion in all our hearts from Bacon, New York. He's the only Mayhemmer with a future endeavored letter from the WWE. He is Mad Mike.
Sorg, I like to think I am a champion. I'm also a Slammy Award winner.
You are, yes. Okay.
That's legit for people who don't know. See the lore.
Yes.
You know, it's there.
Yes.
It's there. Just go through 845 back episodes. It's in there somewhere. I have my Slammy right now. It's covered of stuff. Otherwise, I'd pull it out.
Well, watch that because the Danhausen's looking for awards. So, you know, I mean.
You know, it's funny. I saw Danhausen in New York Comic Con, but I wasn't sure if it was Danhausen or someone cosplaying as Danhausen.
That's a problem, isn't it? It was like, really? Is this like the time we thought we were interviewing Eddie Kingston over 10 years ago, and it was just a fan that looked like him?
Potentially, yeah.
Yes.
But
yes.
he had the face paint on and everything. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've never seen Danhausen in 3D before, so I don't know if that's him.
Fantastic. Well, I had the same question, although it was post-show and most of his makeup was rubbed off. So I was like, I think you're a Danhausen, but I'm not sure. And you're, and you know, and the voice does not sound familiar, you know, kind of thing.
I wasn't getting an evil vibe off him.
No. Oh, I was getting an evil vibe. Well, we were also on the South Side, so there's a lot of evil vibes. So, you know. Anyways, we also have with us what was the? No, we'll get into it later. He is he's a clipper extraordinaire. Let's say that he's the one that gets the easy bits out. He helps. This is the spoonful of sugar that helps the mayhem go down on the social medias. It's Dave Potter.
Hey Zorg, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for letting me workshop that.
Thanks for having me on. Oh, no problem. I mean, who wants to do a little planning or thinking ahead? That's for amateurs.
Well,
amateurs plan and think ahead.
I had plans, and then they all went away. Yeah, but I mean, that's a regular on this show, so. You know, but anyways, but no, thank you for coming on here. And we also have representing both Prospect Pro Wrestling, Renegade Wrestling Alliance, as well as a member of Top Rope Tabletop. Man, your list is getting long, and it's all wordy things. Tony Kincaid.
One too.
Tony Kincaid is with us. Hello, sir.
Hello. Reach for the skies, boys.
Absolutely, and we will be touching on that in just a moment. But in the meantime, please go check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. You can email us, the fine folks here at that email address.
Good time.
Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, 412-206-WMS0. Tweet us at Mayhem Show. Hit us up on the Facebook page and group. A lot of great discussion happened on the Facebook page, including sharing breaking news. We also have a Discord. A lot of discussion is happening over there. Although more people are having fun on the Mid-Journey on the AwesomeCast Discord. But we're also available on Reddit, and we hear live every Tuesday or after the NXT Overrun, which is apparently every week now, on the Wrestling Mayhem Show Facebook, YouTube, over on the Twitch page for Sorgatron Media, and on the IndieWrestling.us Twitch, YouTube, and also on the network. I need to confirm that's happening because that's part of the experiment, isn't it? So we are attempting to have the chats up for all of them. So if you're conversing with us, you can be part of the show. Chime in with your thoughts as well, just like Tina's in the chat room. Potter's hanging out there, even though he's also on the show. You're double tasking. That's a community manager right there. So because as if I need to give you another title.
You act like I'm not in the chat every week.
Mike too. I don't know. Dave's the one I saw. Okay, so
I
don't see a chat list on Facebook. I just see when somebody talks. Oh, there you are. Hey, look, Matt Mike's in the chat room too.
Yeah.
Go to the chat room. Learn Matt Mike's last name.
I mean, Mike, it's not like you're not in the intro video 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, now. Because I complained about it.
Listen, man. Listen. It's you try running a network. That's. Anyways, we are.
Excuse.
Hold on. Did I just do? Hold on, let me double check that. Okay, I felt like I was streaming to like multiple things. Yes, we are on the network. Just double checked it. But anyways, we are also, where are we at? We're a podcast. Did you know that? Look up the Wrestling Mayhem Show on your favorite podcast provider, or the Sorgatron Media Super Feed, which includes all the great stuff that we do out of here at Sorgatron Media, including brand new, just launched this last week, a brand new podcast, A Gay and His Envy. Our friend Eamon and Merlin, who we sadly introduced Merlin to the World of Wrestling Mayhem Show with the STD Christmas party. And that's just added to the therapy bills. But they have their own podcast to work that stuff out now. So tune in over there. And also they were being featured starting today on Fishing Without Bait. So if you want to learn about why did they move to Pittsburgh from Texas, that's going to be a part of there at fishingwithoutbait.com. But of course, you know that already if you are subscribed and listening to this on the Sorgatron Media Super Feed on your podcast provider. And also thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. You get a bunch of extra bits and pieces and post shows. Sometimes I post them 2 weeks late. Sorry about that, guys. That went up like yesterday from the anniversary show. We just find stuff on the floor here, some good content on the floor, on the cutting room floor, and just say, here, have a bit. Have a bit of this. But thank you to our Patreon supporters at the fan of the show level. Bo Diggity! Woo! As well as Ed Burke, Team Hammer Fist, and Bobby F. J. Town. At the Poppy Club level, Dave Podner. Dave Prof Pop Podner, clipper of all the things Sorg related. There you go. Pizza Club level, Doc Remedy and The Riz, and the manager level, Bradley and Mother of Dragons, Tina Keys. It was good hanging with Bradley at Rise this past weekend a little bit, and especially the post show. The Mayhem just attracts to him, apparently. So yeah, also fun to be at intermission and hear them paging Bradley and his MJF scarf to ringside. That was an experience. So anyways, you guys support the show too at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. I hope he's listening this week.
Sorg?
Yes.
Sorg, real quick. Tina just entered into chat. Would like the intro to be the overly caffeinated Mother of Dragons.
Okay, let me see what I can do about that. Hold on. I can't copy and paste this.
All right.
Hold on. I got to get into this. The overly caffeinated. Is that how she... Wait, it's like...
Yep.
What time is it there? It's 10 o'clock here, so it's like 7 o'clock. So the overly
7 o'clock there.
Caffeinated, or is she still on,
7:30? Yeah.
or is she
Sorg,
on a high from AEW 2 weeks ago?
She's in Seattle, where I'm pretty sure their tap water is just coffee.
Yeah. It just the drip is the faucet for Starbucks. Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like you turn on that tap, You either get cold brew or hot brew.
I feel like my memory when I visited there last year is the entire city smells of coffee. It's very delicious. So most cities smell of urine.
Okay.
No comment.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Southside.
Southside, downtown Pittsburgh, Manhattan.
Hey,
Dude.
Hey.
Yo, I'm sorry. Manhattan smells like piss.
no, it doesn't.
It does.
It does.
It
does.
No, no.
not.
It smells like BO and piss. Yeah.
There's a lot
It smells
of
like BO because there's a lot of fucking bees to O.
there's a lot of fun smells in New York, and by fun I mean disgusting. And that experience was just being in Times Square a couple months ago. So,
Well,
maybe
that was your problem.
Maybe you know what? Maybe it's that.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's your
The
problem.
tourist.
You're in Times Square.
We were working. That's where the gig is, dude. I don't get to pick where. I don't get
So-
to go to the places I
blame the
want to
gig.
go.
Blame the gig, not the city. Central Park does not smell like fucking.
No, it
urine.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. From my
Smells
recollection,
heavenly.
no, it smells heavenly. Maybe you've been there so long. I know you're not there currently, but you lived there so long and visit there so
Yeah.
much. You're just nose blind, man. You just don't know. Like, this is what New York smells like. You're just like, this is just air.
Maybe you just smell like urine and you smell it everywhere.
If I smell like urine, then I would be nose blind to my own urine. I think that's how it works. Don't
I
clip
don't
this,
think
Dave.
so.
What if you do just
Show
that,
title,
just
you're in
that
for it now.
sentence, just that sentence?
No, show tell. You're in for it now, Sorg.
Oh my gosh! All right, we're having fun now, but we do have to bring it down for a moment because there was some breaking news. I mean, like an hour and a half before the show, I think this broke. And to the point where NXT even mentioned it. I think you said what Triple H and Sean are tweeting about it. We reported. I saw first from Fightful. I actually saw first from Tony Khan of all people.
Yeah, I saw Tony Khan. Yeah.
And then read on Fightful, which I believe this was via Dave Meltzer. It looks like Jay Briscoe of the Briscoe brothers, the Briscoes, Ring of Honor champions. I think it's safe to say Ring of Honor legends. Passed in a fatal car accident this evening in Delaware. So and I understand there was two that were two deaths in that car accident. So that is sudden and tragic. He was 38. Obviously, we just saw him most recently. At least most of us saw him on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, their great dog collar match against FTR. I personally, I don't think I had personally run into him aside from working a couple of shows that they were on this past year, especially WrestleCon, and I think there might have been a Warrior or a Defier or something in there too. So I mean, for me, when I think about Ring of Honor, you think about the Briscoes. They were always a part of it. They were always that unique thing that was at all the shows, that represented at all the shows. And I mean, if anybody carried that banner for so many years, it was certainly them.
Yeah, I was introduced to the Briscoes when Ring of Honor sort of hit their first wave in the mid 2000s, and their tag team matches were out of this world. No one was doing what they were. I mean, their fights with Motor City, their fights with the young Bucks, the fights with Kingdom, Kings of Wrestling. They had a feud with Generico and Steen. They made tag team wrestling. If you were just a WWE fan, you really didn't know what tag team wrestling was, because at that time they had moved on at the Fed, and they brought back tag team wrestling to the main event, the upper mid card level. And besides that, Jay was the catalyst for the mouthpiece for the Briscoes, into the point where a lot of the things that we use on the independents, the Briscoes were using first. I mean, stand up and shoot promos in a field and surrounded by whatever, talking without a script, so to speak, talking like themselves, made them so unique, made Jay so unique, and his cadence was so strong that every time he stepped in front of a camera, there was a war that was going to go on. And it was a war in front of the camera. You knew their matches were going to be lit. And then he had his singles run with the title, and his feud with Adam Cole, which was brutally beautiful. And then of course later on they started doing their dream matches, and they got to wrestle FTR in that amazing story trilogy that ended with the dog collar match recently. And this is the first time this is my 4th year working here, so I get to meet some great people, and I get to meet a lot of people that worked in bigger companies, worked in smaller companies that are coming up, so they're on their way. This is the first time that I think like an entire locker room, in chat or whatever, was stunned into silence. Just, we're hurting so bad right now. Mm-hmm. I'm hurting as a fan. I'm hurting as someone who works in the business. And I'm hurting half as much as some of the people that know him. His family. My heart goes out to his family, his kids, like his brother, his dad. It's just, he was 38. Like, that's not right. It's not right.
And just like, obviously a part of Ring of Honor, probably on the biggest stage that it's probably ever been, and this trilogy that just completed with FTR was if nothing else, it's gonna be, a lot of people were exposed to the Briscoes that haven't been before, and if nothing else, that is a fitting end, a fitting closure, at least. We can have solace in that as fans, that many have seen him before this. But yeah, no, I'm seeing that too. I'm seeing that across a lot of the chats, a lot of the things that we're some people have worked with in Ring of Honor and had experience to work with him, chatting with him. So it's hitting pretty hard on a lot of people right now. So we had some comments. I just saw Joe Dombrowski on Facebook was talking about this. So he's had a couple comments about it because of course Joe worked off and on with Ring of Honor for several years, so obviously has had some experience with Jay. And he says next time he sees the and I'm sorry, I need to bring it up again.
The double underhook pile driver.
Yes, he's going to call it the J driver.
The J driller.
J driller. Yes. Yeah. So double underhook pile driver. When I'm on the job, it will forever be the J driller. So that's so again, Tony Khan was the first that it seemingly the first that had shared it, and so it's going to help the family wherever they can. This is also, we're just a couple months out from another Ring of Honor show. When obviously no announcement yet for what they were going to be doing, and we don't know what the plan would have been there, but that kind of is the least of the problems. So, but yeah, so unfortunate.
Yeah, like I didn't watch a lot of Ring of Honor, but I do remember the shows I did watch. I enjoyed the Briscoe brother matches a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, and this is from me, a guy who didn't like Ring of Honor. Like, the Briscoe brothers always stood out.
Mm-hmm.
Always stood out. Their matches were always top notch. I haven't seen the dog collar match. I haven't had a chance to, but if it's anything like the other two matches, I'm sure it was phenomenal too. And it just sucks.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame.
So and I just want people to remember, like, this is popped up on Twitter a little bit, was during COVID, while we were all isolated. Jay posted a video with his daughter doing their cheer routine together.
Yes, I retweeted that. I saw that pop up again.
And I implore everyone to look for that video, because from everything I've heard, Jay was a good person. He was still growing as a person, but he definitely was an entertainer. And the body of work he put out was, they just named him to the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame a bit ago. And well deserving, because there's a blueprint to a lot of WWE, AEW, and New Japan tag teams and tag teams that are wrestling on the indies right now that mark his style, Mark's style. His promo against John Laurinaitis, the aesthetically pleasing promo, is a legendary promo. The tap out shirt promo against Davey Richards and Kyle O'Reilly, talking about stable thoughts while Mark's blowing the shotgun in the background. That's a legendary promo. Those promos in 2007, those promos are commonplace nowadays here in our field of work. Jay was the one who started that. Not in a studio, not with lights, with a phone, or it wasn't even a phone back then. It was a handheld recorder on a tripod. And Sorg, you've been around long enough, cameras weren't very good back then, and he made it work. Mics were even worse, and he made it work. So, man knew how to sell a match and then knew how to back it up in the ring. We lost a good one, and this very few times does the wrestling world stop for a second, because it moves so fast, and this one stopped it.
Yep.
And
if you're not familiar, or you just want to think back, there's plenty of matches, I'm sure, over on YouTube of them, or just watch this fantastic video of him dancing with his daughter. That's an unfortunate thing. He leaves family behind in this. I'm hoping none of the family were involved in the accident. We can only hope that news is still coming out as of last we checked the headlines over there. But anyways, but yeah, just checking on something. So, Mike, I want to bring this up for you. I'm going to intend to raise the
Yeah, it's never a good transition. So
no.
Let me just put in, Dave, you can clip this awkward transition.
Yay! Yes. Anyway.
Well,
there's really no way.
No, there's not. No,
there's no way it come out.
Well, let me just say this is a positive thing. When I was reading Twitter comments from other wrestlers, the mention, there was tons of mention of, great performer, very intense, but you saw as many people mention how good of a person he was backstage, and how all their backstage were so good. And yes, you hate to see that stuff come out when people die, because it should be coming out when they're alive and active, and people know, because there's we've talked about before, it's like, oh, that person's a great wrestler, but they're a shit human being.
And Jay hasn't been without controversy, but obviously, and to see the people that would have been offended by what, because I remember we were here in Pittsburgh when he was apologizing for some things he said, probably good, I don't know, almost a decade ago, probably.
Yeah.
But to see those same people that would be, would not have tolerated, that issue, say, he was a good person, so, and somebody that was working on it, was growing. So I'm good to see that the words he said that day here in Pittsburgh, like he sounds like he lived by. It resonated. He lived by it. He grew. And I think that's it. And I think that's, it's possible for somebody not to remain canceled, I think is the
like everyone makes mistakes. It's just how you recognize the mistakes, how you take from them, how you learn from them, how you learn to listen to others, and you grow from them. And it sounds like Jay did that a lot, which is great.
Sometimes rare. So
it's sometimes incredibly rare, especially when you hear a lot of lip service in the wrestling industry.
No, that's good. And then go ahead, Tony.
I will. I'll say one of the first things I saw Tony's tweet, and I saw a couple others from Ring of Honor, but one that stood out because I remember when Jay was trying to rebuild after he was informed. We'll call that he said he wanted to learn, he needed to learn, and he was going to learn as long as he possibly could. Effie spoke out and said that Jay showed him respect when everyone else. I'm going to quote it verbatim because I don't want to take Effie's words out of context. Jay Briscoe showed me respect and love when everyone told me he wouldn't. If you knew Jay, you knew he would lift everyone in that locker room, regardless of whether of whatever world they came to wrestling from. The best. Rest easy, brother. So he doesn't, I'm not going to say Effie speaks for an entire culture, an entire movement, an entire group of wrestling, but Effie's one of the loudest voices in LGBT wrestling. And maybe not everyone can grow when they are born have bad habits and are bigoted. Jay, from all intents and purposes, tried to learn when he realized he was wrong, and that's a human being. And yeah.
Thank you. Well, on that note,
awkward transition.
Mike, I have something for you.
Okay.
I know you've seen this, but this is going to be our palate cleanser for this. So again, apologies for the awkward transition, but we must carry on. And please, and please, any comments, do me a favor, tweet us at Mayhem Show, put it in the Facebook group. If you're on the Discord, if you find your favorite moments, if they're on YouTube or something, of the Briscoe brothers,
I'll make a thread right now.
We're going to make a thread over on the group. Mike's on that right now. Please share those. Let's celebrate the Briscoes and their careers and what they mean to all this. And even if somebody put the dancing tweet, I have it retweeted on the Sorgatron account right now. So let's celebrate. Let's celebrate this individual and what they mean for wrestling. And as Zeke Mercer, and this has been a lot. This is a sentiment I've seen a lot lately today, and I'll just read this verbatim. I think it's a good closing comment on this. Zeke says, "Take all the pictures, give all the hugs, give all the flowers. You never know when that'll be your last chance to do so for the ones you care about." So I think it's some good words on that. But
absolutely,
you know what we can also celebrate here, Mike? The party.
Oh,
I saw this in my feed. And
I think I know what this is.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And I need to rehook up my video to make sure everybody can see. I'm not showing much of this because I don't want to get because I think this is a WWE property, maybe officially.
I don't think so.
No, it is outside, isn't it? So
nope,
this
is
music video showed up with Claudio, Xavier Woods, Adam Cole.
No, Sorg, that's Austin Creed. You don't want
I'm sorry, Austin Creed.
That's Austin Creed. That's Austin Creed.
Who's Tyler Breeze now? I don't. I'm not.
Breeze. Just Breeze.
Okay, Breeze. There you go.
Yeah.
They're all and somebody else. But there is a full-on music video, and it's glorious. And I thought of Mike.
I swear, like, if you have watched as much footage of these motherfuckers playing Uno as I have, there are so many in-references and hidden jokes. Apparently Claudio, I was watching them play Uno last night. Claudio watched it live on his Twitch stream, and he would like pause the video to tell people about certain things when they're making the video. I need to see if that's still on his Twitch feed because I want to watch that. But there are just so many in jokes. Like there's even a part where they all have their 4 alter egos in there, which is very odd because I don't know if you know this, Sorg or Dave or Tony. They all have alter egos when playing Uno as well. And I mean, Adam Cole sometimes shows up as Ronald, who is Adam Cole's roommate, and he's kind of a douchebag. Claudio is sometimes replaced by Big Tony, and if you don't know who Big Tony is, that's none of your business. Breeze is replaced. Oh God, what's Breeze Exotic? Because they did the Uno thing back in 2020, and that's when Joe Exotic was huge. So Breeze became Breeze Exotic and even styled his facial hair like it. Oh my! And Woods came out as the King. You have to say it right, and that's before he won the King of the Ring.
That's right.
So yeah, but there's like a quick shot of all 4 of them in their alter egos together, which is hilarious and a good sign because in canon the last time we saw Ronald, well, it looked like Big Tony had put a hit out on him. So
jeez,
I'm glad to see they mended fences.
Okay, that's good. And also that
They basically when Adam when Cole left WWE, they had to write him out. It's very funny. They wrote him out of Uno.
Oh no! Oh
in
no!
canon on Up Up Down Down.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tina's in the chat room saying that Harley Cameron is the singer on the video. She also did the Inspirations theme.
Yep.
And she also did the duets with Scarlett and Shotzi around Halloween, I think, right? Because was it I Put a Spell on You or something? Yeah.
Yeah, it was for Halloween Havoc.
That's right. Awesome. So, no, I had to share that little bit. So,
oh, it's a phenomenal song. It's a funnier music video. Highest of recommends. Also, for anyone who does miss watching The Party and are not aware, there's a separate The Party YouTube feed that has the 3 Uno games they've played since coming back recently.
Nice. Love to see it. Love to see it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
And I just checked out the Twitter feed for Breeze. He tweeted out, "You can get the music also on Spotify."
Oh, I favorited it.
And on iTunes.
Nice. Wait.
Yes.
I'm sure it's on everything else. The stuff's usually on everything.
Yeah.
Listen, as a grizzled vet, I have problems seeing this many companies that are opposing actually have friendships. That's not how it worked in my day, okay?
Okay, we'll talk about how the friendships are going here in a moment with your companies. Anyways, there's a lot of news. There's a lot happening there that I think is worth pointing out there. Anyways, I guess some interesting announcements over the last week and sharing and maybe Sorg hit a wrong button. But anyways, that may have instigated something. But anyways, you can keep up with all that kind of stuff at IndieWrestling.us, Indie Wrestling Network, and of course, ringside members on our IndieWrestling.us YouTube page. We're seeing people sign up every day. Thank you so much, everybody that is supporting indie wrestling, or at least you need a wrestling video so we can keep putting out these fine products and let you make sure you have an eye into the greater Pittsburgh. I got to find a new name for this because we're getting West Virginia and we got all of our crews, and I'm really like everybody is like minimum 45 minutes from downtown that we work with. But anyways, also back is Pittsburgh Wrestling.
Pittsburgh and Yinzer affiliated.
Yinzer and Guns in I don't know what's the West Virginia version?
Yinzer and Yonzer.
I just call it the Tri-State Coal Connection.
The Tri-State Coal Collection, or north of the Mason-Dixon, but I don't know. I'm working on it. We're working on this. But anyways,
the armpit of Lake Erie.
Oh no, that's like there was something else I referenced a couple weeks ago. Anyways, Pittsburgh and beyond. That's a good one from California. Alex says. Anyways, this past weekend, a fantastic show. I got to attend my first Rise Wrestling show in like a year and some change. And it's the first time I was at this new facility at the Uniontown Mall. And it's a fantastic, questionably doing okay mall. No, it's not. But it's still. What did I say a few months ago? More wrestling in dead malls, and here we you know, this is what I love. It's a giant facility, and they have so much space to spare. If you walk off in the same room, you will disappear into the darkness. It's fantastic. I love it. Anyways, and there's like a beacon of light in the middle, and there's wrestling. They had Lee Moriarty taking on Cowpoke Paul, who was a replacement because Brandon K actually came down with a little bit of pneumonia. I don't know. He wouldn't shake my hand, so I think he was still rolling through it. And of course, Brian Pillman against Great Alexander. Brian Pillman, of course, is going to be take on Adric Everhard for the Rise Grand Championship next Mall. Dead Mall Wrestling. Can we just have a company called Dead Mall Wrestling? Maybe DMW. Let's do it. Damn it.
Oh my God, Sorg! Every title should be named after a dead store in a mall.
Oh, the Claire's women's title.
The women's belt. The women's title is the Contempo Casual Championship.
I was gonna say the Claire's Championship.
Claire still exists.
Yeah. Oh, like you want things that aren't around anymore in malls.
If it's in a dead mall, they should be dead stores.
I think it should just be the stores that are left. right?
No, it should be dead stores.
Okay, all right.
No, you're missing the
Okay.
monetary value of getting the belt sponsored by the
Besides,
store.
Sorg, no, but you could also be sued if you use a store. that
Which is why you get them
currently
to
exists.
sponsor them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're gonna
Not everyone is as cool as Butterfingers.
we'll have to get like the Go Gamer down the hallway and
Sure.
stuff, right? But anyways, either way,
Blaze in the chat says Montgomery Ward Tag Team Champion.
yes.
Mhm.
Actually, I
Yes,
think
yes.
that should be the Sears and Roebuck Tag Team Championship.
I think the tag team should be Gimbals Kaufman's tag team championship
Mm.
because that's
Ooh.
deep.
Wow.
That's
Look at that
historic.
pull.
Deep.
Can I get the National Record Mark Championship?
Alex Carr says the KB Toys
Aw.
Open Weight Championship.
Yes, perfect.
I love it. I love it.
Sold.
All
Sold.
right.
I
All
love it.
right.
I love it so much.
Let's roll with it. You need to stop
I
it
mean,
because
I know.
Go ahead.
I'll say, I know it's not a strictly mall store, but if it's around Pittsburgh, there has to be a Hills Open Championship.
Ooh,
Of
yeah.
course, Jesse says you should have a Radio Shack Rumble.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone brings their own piece of electronic equipment.
No, the prize in this display, just like when they have the vacant championship belt when they're doing like a tournament or something, and it's just like an old Radio Shack TRS 80.
The King of the Hills match.
King of the Hills
Oh,
match.
yes, that's it.
Oh my
That's it.
God. We gotta get Pittsburgh Dad in
Yes.
on this one. Pittsburgh Daddy and Jagoff needed in on this one. Anyways,
Mhm.
sorry, this is a very Pittsburgh reference here. Sorry for our West Coasters listening. and
Only
beyond.
people 2 hours radius understand
yeah.
what we're talking
Yeah,
about
that's
right
it.
now.
That's it. I mean, it's most of our people, but you know, you never know.
When
Late-
did the Hills close?
Oh God, like
Never in my heart.
You-
Never
yeah.
in my heart.
that's the true
Well,
answer.
that's fair.
Popcorn
No,
and Snapple.
I want to
I'm
say
trying to remember-
early 90s.
late 90s, maybe.
Okay.
I think it barely caught, but I mean, it basically crashed and burned early mid 90s, and there
Okay,
was like
'cause
a
I'm trying to
couple
remember
left
if I-
on at near
'cause
the
I've-
end.
I've only been to one mall in the greater Pittsburgh area, and I don't remember if it was that, but I'm guessing it wasn't.
King of the Hills, yes.
No.
Free huge bags of popcorn for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's great.
Trademarked. I'm trademarking it right now.
Showdown at Sasarku, Japan. Jeez.
If you want to, I mean, there's enough dead malls. I can think of
Mhm.
one. Oh, not too far away from my house. That's a big dead mall.
Oh, jeez, yes. There was actually a
And we can actually
conversation.
bring Ronnie out of we can bring Ronnie out of retirement again to do something regarding it, since it's not far away from his house.
There was a recent conversation about how much you think rent is up there to do something. So,
The Discovery Zone Championship.
yes.
Oh my
Wow.
God! Yes.
Wow. All right. Anyway,
we'll
speaking
move
of
on.
wrestling,
Move on.
speaking of wrestling, there's
Awkward
a-
transition.
awkward transition. Tony Kincaid, you have a new cohort over on Top Rope Tabletop from this last time.
Yes, we do. Mikey Montgomery.
Of the
Bitcoin Boys.
Bitcoin Boys. They were a nice surprise when I started filming a little bit up in the Cleveland area. Good to see him in, and I think he's a Pittsburgh regional person now. But yeah, so at least close enough to drive in for D&D, so I appreciate it. So he brought a lot of energy this last show. It's over on the network. It's on the YouTube for IndieWrestling.us. And it's these guys getting Keith Hott, Tyler Bree. Tyler Klein.
Murder you.
He is.
He's
He
going
is.
to murder you dead.
2 rules in wrestling: don't call Tyler Klein Tyler Breeze by accident, and don't call Trey Miguel Ricochet. That's how you get murdered. Anyways, I didn't do the other one, I swear. But I've heard about it. But anyways, shit. Top Rope Tabletop. I don't know. There's a bunch of people there, and I'm not going to try to name them because apparently I can't do that.
Well, I'll do it for you. So we got Keith Hott, we got the Wilton Tatiana, we got Tyler Klein of the Runway.
Oh,
We have that guy. We have Justin Idol. we have Mikey Montgomery, and last but not least, we have myself. And Mikey came on in our latest game, and he took to it like a fish to water. My lord, I have never seen someone get that hyped, that intense, that fast. He picked it up. He ran with it.
That's the most energy you've seen since the Riz was on there.
Well, I wasn't on that show, so.
Oh, okay.
That's why the Riz was on there.
Oh, yeah.
No, Mikey had, the little bit of inside baseball. You want their first D&D session to be a good one. And man, oh man, did we were beat up. We were bloodied. This boss was kicking our butts, and he had a chance to finish it off, and he had to take a lap around the building because he was
to walk out.
He had to walk it off because he was so nervous. He was legitimately nervous. And when he got the final hit, which we say what's the finish to the boss battle, he screamed with the rest of us, and he was hyped. And afterwards, he had this adrenaline pump. He's like, that was so much fun. I can't wait for next time. That's what we want to hear. That's it.
There you go.
Perfect. So I think his significant other might kill us now. But not our fault.
Nope, not our fault. Not our fault. Nope. Although if they want to come in and play and try out D&D, I think it's a good environment. Just saying. But anyways, beyond that, of course, Prospect Pro Wrestling is next week. But we actually have you scheduled to join us next week as well. And thank you. Actually, Tony's a last minute replacement, so thank you for tagging in here last minute. Tony's not busy on Tuesdays, thankfully, and we appreciate that you are available for us here on the Mayhem Show.
I do what I can.
Yes. So. But Renegade Wrestling Alliance is this weekend. Big show. You guys got Scotty Too Hottie coming in. And is Ryan Edmonds going to be there? I'm not clear. What's that?
I just said banging it. Because Scotty Too Hottie.
Yes.
I feel like you're legally obligated to say banging it 4 times.
He's also doing a seminar.
Yes, and that if for any aspiring wrestlers, go to RWA's Facebook page for the details on that seminar. A couple of us have shared it as well. It's a good chance to learn from one of the best from the era that you grew up watching, probably, or definitely I grew up watching. So Sky 2 is supposed to face Ryan Edmonds. Ryan Edmonds has said vehemently on social media he will not be there, that our owner, Dr. Feelback, can just fine him until his contract runs out. He doesn't give a damn. I don't know. Ryan Edmonds has a bit of an ego, and he's been challenged by not only Feelbad, but by the RWA fans. I mean, I've read some of the comments. I've read some of the DMs people send that he's put publicly. They're mean to him. He's probably the most harassed human being in RWA. For no good reason. He's given his blood, sweat, and tears to that company, and that company doesn't treat him very well for being a royalty.
There's some reasons. I mean, I think
all right.
I think he earned the vitriol of that 8-year-old girl.
The 8-year-old girl had it coming. Okay, Listen. And listen, I am very proud of one thing in RWA, and that is our wrestlers know how to shut down those kids, because those kids flip off without repose. No one tells them not to, but they cry the second you post up on them. Ryan Edmonds proved it. Arthur MacArthur proved it. Those kids cry like they're 8-year-old girls because they're 8-year-old girls. And you know what? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of pretending that kids don't deserve to be treated exactly how their parents teach them that they should be. I don't know where I'm going with this. I didn't forget.
I think you're starting a feud with an 8-year-old girl is what's happening.
I'm 50-50 that could be an 8-year-old girl. I'll be completely honest. My skills are mouth, words, not mouth. What the hell is going on?
What is happening with you tonight? Wow.
It's a weird day, man.
The fans got you flustered. Okay. That's where we're at.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about your kids, is what I'm trying to say.
Tony Kincaid, not for the kids. Got it. All right, taking a note here. But no, there's a lot going on here. A lot of movie, and we talked about a little bit of the cross promotion cross. Dean Radford. To see Dean Radford first of all.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's trouble in the first place. But also a Rise logo next to that on the 2PW page threw me when I saw that last week, and I had no heads up on that.
Honest to God, I did not have the last week of announcements, both at Rise, what happened at the Lee Moriarty. I'm not going to tell everyone in case you didn't see it. You should watch on IndieWrestling.us. Lee Moriarty versus Cowboy Paul match had a very interesting finish. Did not have that on my bingo card for 2023. Did not have Dean Radford in RWA on my bingo card for 2023. So I am like 3 spots away from bingo. It is weird, the landscape that has changed in the last how many days are we into 2023? 17 days. It's been a weird freaking 17 days, and things are just changing, man. Things are just changing.
Absolutely. One of the big things, J-Rock and Rev, we had Rev in here I think about a month and a half ago. Maybe it was. Checking in on his neck. I know that's been here and there. I know he's been getting attacked. I walk in the last show, halfway through the show. It's intermission, and then just stuff's blowing up in the ring, and then J-Rock's hanging out of a window above the entrance, like fucking Bluto in the Popeye game, like berating everybody. I don't know what the fuck was going on out there.
So it was. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh no, I was just gonna say from the chat room before we get too far off course. Tina says the Top Rope Tabletop is one of Junior's favorite podcasts.
Oh hell yeah!
And also Blaze says I got 20 on the girl v Tony. Sorry.
Oh fuck you!
So I felt like both of those needed to,
the duality of man. No,
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
So
and we got some spoilers in the chat room. We got some spoilies.
Yeah,
because of scheduled
because
videos.
of a tweet. Yeah, because scheduled tweets went out a little earlier, and I think. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
We're gonna have to do that now then. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on a
Sorry,
second. I was trying to get the timing down, man, but we went long on that other thing. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get this swapped up for you. Here you go.
You're screwed.
Can you guys still hear me?
You're screwed. I'm not.
All right, here we go. This is the announcement. Since it went out on Twitter and we're running a little bit late, here's the host announcement for Mayhem Mania.
What up, everybody? Ty Cross here, and I know you all know who I am. We have breaking news for the Wrestling Mayhem show. Mayhem Mania 2023 has got a brand new host, and I know exactly who it is.
Me, Benjamin C. Steele. Nice coat, by the way. Did they give you a bowl of soup with that? Yeah, it's Benjamin C. Steele. Tell him. You can call me BC Steele. You can call me Benjamin C. Steele. You can call me Mr. Steele. Tell him how it's me.
Ben?
Yeah.
I know who it is.
Yeah.
And it's not you.
It's me, the Maven of Mayhem, Judders. And you all have your work cut out for you this year. They wish it was you two.
Stutters.
There you have it. Dutters is going to be the host of Mayhem
Mania.
Mania.
Yes.
Oh, the Trapper Keeper of Doom.
The Trapper Keeper of Doom. Oh my gosh. Maybe the Trapper Keeper's where Space Jail's held. I don't know. Like, maybe that's where she keeps a file on you.
I will say I'm glad I stopped guessing. I would have come to it eventually.
Okay.
I'm glad I stopped guessing. I'm glad this is the reveal. Extremely excited. I love Dutters. I love Dutters as a person. The first time I met Dutters was when her and a ginger just randomly drove to New York to stay with me for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I met her in person. Like, they came up to the Bronx sight unseen.
How's that on paper? Yeah, these two girls from Pittsburgh I never met before are going to come up and stay at my apartment for a few days.
Yeah,
in New York.
Yep. Yeah. My 20s were a different time.
Well, that's as wild when we were like, we were in the first year of the podcast, and somebody from London is coming to visit us and is going to stay at my house for a couple days. We're just like, what if this guy's like a wacko?
What if he's Jack the Ripper?
Yeah.
We all die.
What if he's a different type of wacko?
Wow. But and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Thank God he did, and that he survived. Because that was the only reason that I went down there afterwards.
That's right. He was the litmus test for that. So
yeah, I found Megabus. Megabus charged me $16 for a round trip. I was gone.
Oh, Megabus was amazing. That's why I visited you so much, because Megabus was so fucking cheap. So I haven't checked that lately. So, anyways, now with Spirit Airlines, I'm sure I can. Although I can't find a trip to New York through Spirit Airlines that doesn't go through Fort Lauderdale for some reason. I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. So that's longer than a bus ride. So what's that?
I'm checking to see if Megabus still exists.
Oh, it exists. It definitely
does.
exists. Yeah.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does. I'm checking the website, and there is a bus from Pittsburgh to New York City.
Oh, there will always be one from Pittsburgh to New York City. The one from Erie, I don't know if that'll still be around. Anyways, what the hell? I'm sorry, Tony, for that mistimed interruption.
Yeah, I apologize. It's just
it was out there. I was hoping nobody would have brought it up.
I was gonna. There was a short list of people that I'd be okay with interrupting me, and the others is one of them.
There you go.
So
there you go.
It's good.
Anyway, so a lot happened at RWA this weekend. J-Rock and the Rev. What else is happening?
Well, that I mean, so let's just to touch on that. There was a few months ago, J-Rock, who is saying he is the true RWA heavyweight champion. Paladrov, the Rev Ron Hunt, who is the recognized world heavyweight champion, stole the belt. Now has both belts. And he Paladrove him through 2 chairs. Injured his neck really badly. Doctors had him rehab it, and he was getting to match-ready health for slated for January. At intermission, when you walked in the door, I think like 5 seconds after you walked in the door, J-Rock hit the ring, Paladrove Rev again, and we haven't heard heads or tails from the Rev. The Rev was very adamant about his healing process the first time. Now, not so much. It's, I don't want to. All thoughts on Rev aside, and I don't want to mince words. I think he's doubtful for Saturday. I think this is going to be a wash. But of all the people who would fight through the pain in the RWA locker room, Rev is one of those people who injured, no doctor's excuse. I think he would sign the hold hard list. I think he would put his career on the line to get a piece of J-Rock after what he said about his family, what he said about his friends. This is extremely personal for Rev against J-Rock. We'll see what happens, but if he's not 100% healthy, I could see J-Rock winning this. But you don't want to miss this match because there's going to be a lot of vitriol, a lot of pain is going to be tossed around. So don't want to miss that. Other things that we still have to also clean up, like the mess that we left in the gymnasium from the tables match. Last month we had Troy Lords and Shirley Doe versus the Sons of Liberty versus the Gambino brothers to decide who was the premier Pittsburgh tag team in pro wrestling. I think there was a better alliteration for that, but who gives a crap? Dr. Feelbad said that when the Gambinos won that match, they were considered by management to be the number 1 contenders. Now, bulking season hasn't really responded to that. We have no real details on how that's going down, but it should be interesting to see where that leads to. And, there's a lot of things stacked up, not to mention our No Limits championship against, I feel like I'm talking a lot because my voice is so good, but, as you're showing it right now, that match was very violent. Brutal. We had to bring in CJ Sensation to ref it. That's how crazy it was. None of our refs had the balls to do it. CJ Sensation was like, yeah, I'm free. So CJ stepped up.
CJ's seen some shit. So
yeah, well, CJ's seen some shit in the ring with all those guys. He knows them better than some people know their mothers. Like, he knows those guys. He's bled with them. He's fought them. He's fought with them. CJ was the right call for that match. For the No Limits Championship, Tad Jarvis, who is our No Limits champion, nice camera angle there, Sorg. Tad Jarvis is defending the title against Patrick Hayes, who has very interestedly focused. You know how Patrick Hayes is, Sorg. You've known him for a couple years, longer than a couple years. When he focuses, it's like a cobra watching its prey. Like, its eyes won't move. When Patrick Hayes finished off Bronco McBride and finished off John Roden, his eyes focused right on Tad Jarvis and that No Limits title. And they haven't moved yet. And that's terrifying. And you can look on the video right now as Doc is talking stupidly to Patrick Hayes very close to him for no good reason. Patrick Hayes' eyes, they might be looking at the crowd, but they're looking at Tad too. And that's a dangerous man. And we don't even know the stipulation. That's the point of the No Limits Championship. We don't know the stipulations. We don't know them until the opponents get into the ring. Who knows how that's going to go down? Maybe it's a selfie match again, where Tad has the upper hand. It could be a Dapper Man in a Burberry scarf, which Patrick Hayes, MJF, and Bradley are the only 3 people who can win that match legally. It could be something even more violent. Who knows? We don't know. I don't know. And I commentate on the show.
Well, it's going to be crazy. rdebatelive.com. And, of course, that'll be up sometime next week on IndieWrestling.us platforms as well. If you're a subscriber to on the YouTube Ringside members or the network, that you will be getting that as well as everything else. And also, the majority of Top Rope Tabletop is now over on Indie Wrestling Network as well. Free for people to watch.
Sorg, do you mind if I mention something that I've noticed at RWA? Well, I've noticed this, and it started early on, or late in last year, with the bringing in of Project Society to RWA, and I've noticed we're starting to stack talent. I've heard some rumors that Feel Bad and RWA management is looking to do a massive talent push. If that is true, I foresee 2023 to be an insane year for RWA. I foresee a lot of matches where the new up-and-coming talent in Pittsburgh, West Virginia, and Ohio are coming in, trying to stake their claim, and you got the old guards, you got the Revs, you got the Daniel Eadeses, you got the Kavads stepping up and trying to put them back where they think that their place is. But these young kids, they're hungry. You look at Project X, you look at Elijah Cruz. Project X has a match against Daniel Eads, who I think is one of the measuring sticks of RWA. Elijah Cruz has Joshua Kavad. Another measuring stick, Apex trained. Rev Ron Hunt runs with him deep. These are guys that run deep in the history of Pittsburgh Pro Wrestling. And these young guys are coming in, they're hungry, and they're violent, and they don't care about what the predecessors are. They don't care about where your spot was. They want your spot now. And they'll meet you under the clock tower at noon, and you'll draw pistols. And that's why we're the last Wild West of pro wrestling, because these things are happening. And this is our first show in 2023, and it's only going to go up. I have a feeling we're going to see more faces, more Dean Radfords, more things that will surprise long-standing fans of RWA. You don't want to miss it. If you can be in the building at West noon, you should be there. And if not, you need to catch it on IndieWrestling.us, because for the first time in 4 years covering RWA, I don't know what's coming. I know violence is coming. That's about it. That's all I can bet my money on.
Absolutely. So go check all that out. And, of course, IndieWrestling.us. A lot going on there. Also, I want to give a shout out to our friends Slice on Broadway, New York City style yins are made, Beachview, Carnegie, East End, North Hills, South Side Works, supporting us for a good luck time. Please go check them out. SliceOnBroadway.com, supporting our podcasting habit here. Let's take a quick break. Hey, you're going to see from Prospect Pro Wrestling, if you guys are on the video, you're going to see a quick clip of the Apex versus Brotherly Love from the December show. They have a show coming up here the last Friday of the month. So get a little peek at that. And if you're on audio with us, well, it'll be just like we never left. We'll be right back after this.
Dawkins using that headbutt. Oh my goodness, and just charging away. Oh my goodness, that's the way you're going to use your head.
I mean, he has a big head, but I never thought I'd see it that offensively powerful.
I mean, this man is one of the toughest people I've seen in this business in a long time. He can take a look at it.
Oh!
And it just wasn't enough for that triple super kick. My God, the Apex. 1, 2, I thought that was it right there. All three of them they had a target and they hit the bullseye. And right now, again, this match is just,
that was a super kick Christmas party.
Antics, and I feel bad for the Count. My God, he has to try to keep control of this, especially all 6 men hating each other the way they do.
And they all hate the Count.
And well, then again, has him, and he was going for that. There's a DDT by Dawkins.
Going for that TKO.
And, I mean, he went to swing around the TKO, and, I mean, Dawkins laying on his feet like a cat. He needs to make a tag here. Klepto just begging to get in.
Klepto's fresh.
I just hope he doesn't tag in the Can of Whiz.
The Can of Whiz is not a legal competitor.
I know, but he's really obsessed with it. I'm just saying. If you're obsessed with something,
Dawkins
go after
beat the hell out of him.
And right now, Dawkins trying to muster up whatever he can.
He has to get Dior's hurt. I would go for Cliff if I was. We got CRG tag.
And now Klepto finally in this match. And CRG goes down. Out goes Hunt. And right now, and Klepto, just a man possessed here. And, wait a minute. What does Klepto have up his sleeve? Has him over, and wait, they pull the top rope.
Veteranship.
And out goes, and big kick by Kavod.
This is where that veteranship sets up.
Here he comes up and over, and again. And now Brotherly Love on the outside. Right where the Apex was the beginning of the match. And here comes CRG lining up. Oh my goodness, has it. And oh my goodness. Holy shnikes.
Wrestling Mayhem Show. We are here. Tony Kincaid, voice of several promotions. RWA.
The voice of, and let me list
the
all
voice
of them,
of Western Pennsylvania.
I'll take that.
I'm going to piss somebody off with that line.
Well, no, because I like some of the...
Well, you and Doc, one of the voices of Western Pennsylvania. I don't know. No. Between you and Doc do 3 promotions in Western Pennsylvania. I don't know anybody else doing that right now. I know some people that used to do it, but they're also doing shit in Mexico now. So
right.
I'm just saying, I think you're on a good track.
Right. The people who we are trying to emulate are goated. And we are just trying to be as good, slightly lower. If we're lucky, we might get a little bit better. But some of those guys are goated. In fact, one of them, someone actually mentioned, this is a funny story because I know this third segment got thrown because you're an idiot and scheduled tweets improperly. So I'll tell this story. So early on in my career, I was asking for some tips on who I should look at for commentary. And I already knew like Excalibur and Mike Tenay and some of the guys that Tony Schiavone has, some presence, but they weren't really you wanted to find like a unique angle, and someone suggested, look at Joe Dombrowski's work as a whole, but think of it if you're a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that, and that's what I've been trying to do for 4 years. Is just be an evil Joe Dombrowski. Not as good looking, not as fashionably iconic, still trying my best.
Yo, we need to clip that for Joe. Hey, I'm going to clip that for
Tag 'em.
Joe, and I'm going to...
Tag 'em.
No. I got to share a car with Joe this weekend. So it's going to be sharing that clip and listening to, because apparently they did upload new Don West on the shopping channel clips to that YouTube channel, and he told me about it, and I was like, oh, guess what we're fucking doing. And also, you know who's also on the car trip with us? Dutters.
Oh, hell yeah. A funny Dutters story. Guess the first time I met Dutters. At Steel City Con, she was working the table of a haunted house that I don't know if I can name right now, but she was working the table, and we had a long conversation.
Oh, fantastic.
She remembers it. I remember it. It's fun stuff.
There you go. Yes, Dutters is everywhere. I can't wait till we subject her to Don West clips. Anyways. And that's the thing. You're doing Revenge. That's coming up late February with the Revenge Rumble. I know, and I know that's been an experience for you. And we've talked about it on shows before, and of course 2PW and RWA, and wherever else you could kind of pop up. And this is, I think we have a good crop of announcers right now. Like between you guys, I gotta give props to Jim LaMotta. Hell, I'll even give props to that guy Ty Cross that Mad Mike doesn't know.
I don't know who that is. I saw him in the video. I'm like, I've never seen that person.
He's about a year. I know he looks different in the suit, that's for sure. But I think they're a really good pairing over there at Rise. Once you guys handle at your shows, I'm really happy to see what our friend Eamon's been doing with VCW.
Oh my God! Can I just give credit to them? To VCW for the work they did during that table spot. I rewatched it again.
Him and Jason Heat is the name of the other guy on there too.
Like if you guys ever catch this clip, you guys kept your composure so well until it was absolutely impossible for you to keep your composure. And then the line, "I'm not a professional wrestler, but if I were them, I'd find another table," was money.
And this clip made it to Botchamania this week.
Yes, and it's well deserved.
About 9 minutes in, please go watch it. They dedicated some time to it. And just so you know, I have an open line to Matthew whenever some clips happen in local indie wrestling. They are going right in the pipeline at this point. There might be something that happened this weekend that I sent to him yesterday. So if you went, you might know what it is. It was a little thing, but I thought it was kind of funny. But anyways, it's a mark of excellent. I have not talked to the Rad Boys or the Wise Guys since this. I hope they're as happy with it as they are, because they have. I don't think they've had this many eyeballs on them. So, but gotta
just laugh about it. It happens to everyone. I mean, we're doing live stuff here. Things happen,
and we were on pay-per-view on Fight when it happened too. So.
And everyone kept their composure. Everyone kept their composure. I mean, a lesser human being, not myself, but a lesser human being might have cracked. And they didn't. They kept it, and then they got their funny in. Yes. And it was perfect.
Those guys have been. I cannot remember the last time I've laughed so much on commentary in 2 shows in a row with this guy. I can't wait till February we get to do it again. I'll probably need it because I'll be coming in from I don't know what state I'll be in. But yeah, no, it's some good stuff there. And I've said this. I've worked with Jim LaMotta. I've said this to him, and this is probably why he gives me Christmas gifts. Jim LaMotta worked at shit promotions and made them sound professional. And that I want to credit him for. But it not ones he works for now. No, Rise is amazing, and he's got great stuff to work with there. So,
Jim's a good cat. He did an interview with me for his website. Did a nice article about how Doc and I kind of meshed together. And
that's right.
Peel the curtain back a little bit. Doc and I played hockey together. Doc said, "Hey, you might be good at this commentator thing because you know so much about wrestling." I don't know. I'm not very good at being evil, and so it worked. And Jim wrote this great article about how we just clicked together, like, and that was the catalyst. Jim's the catalyst for why we started. Like, we were already doing Prospect on top of it because Marshall wanted Doc, and Doc was like, yeah, we'll bring Tony on, and that worked out really well. And then that's when we started like keeping our ear out for stuff, and then we just ended up over in Erie for Revenge Pro, and McChesney liked it, Draven liked it. You know, all those guys we've worked with in one case or another for the most part. We get to call some matches that we don't get to see down south, I guess we'll say, south of Pittsburgh. So it's a blast of a car ride driving with, you know, Doc and some other people, and just, you know, bullshitting for 2.5 up, 2.5 back. It feels like I'm an actual, you know, wrestling employee now, as opposed to jumping into my car in my PJs, driving 10 minutes to my non-disclosed company that may or may not be any company I work for besides Erie. Don't hunt me down. Oops.
Oh, good stuff there. Let's see, if there's anything else going on in the news that we need to touch on. Chat room, anything we need to, before we get into what we learned. I know it's been kind of a wonky time here. So we were already putting what. I think everybody wants us to go home here on the chat. So
well, no, I just put that there for my own reminder.
Oh, okay.
Because by the time it comes to what you learned in wrestling, I will fully admit I am not a great. I'm just going to talk off the cuff expert. I want to have notes. You've seen me do Mayhem Mania.
He's a planner.
I have pages of notes. I'm a planner. So that was me planning ahead, putting a little,
just a button in there.
A little thing there. Exactly.
That's right. If you're wondering why we have Mini Partner on the video feed,
I don't know.
We've had some consistent video bandwidth issues with you for a couple weeks here, and I don't know what's happening here.
Tina wants to know if we should debate about the street fight from Rampage.
Is there I say on this show, is there a debate? I know people. Okay, what happened on
I just. Okay, so the big thing is like, oh, Ruby Soho bladed on Rampage, and you know she had the Crimson Mask and everything, and everyone was talking about that. I'm more talking, why didn't we just put a second table for that Anna Jay spot so she didn't look like she killed herself?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're going to say something here. I have no problem with women blading. I have no problem at all with anyone blading. I don't work for the Athletic Commission, so I don't have a problem with it. However, I do have a problem with people not stopping people and going, you might want to replan that spot. Because that table shot, and this is 100% like a second table would have sufficed. I don't know, hitting crash mat so Willow could have moved the table a little bit farther. Willow did her best.
Oh, she landed the spot perfectly. It's just
it was still splat. It was still splat.
Yeah.
And no one told them.
Hold on a second. So what happened in the spots for people that may not have seen the clip?
Okay.
They did the Bubba Ray Mae Young spot off the stage.
And I believe that and that is that the one where Willow's butt hit and Anna basically missed the entire table?
Yeah, Willow took the full table and Anna splatted on the floor. And
Is
there were no
she
there were no
okay?
mats.
Is
Yes.
she okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as we know, she's okay. Like she was it was luckily Rampage is pre-tapes, and she was tweeting about stuff days afterwards.
So in a day, and this is, and again, I don't know. I'm not a wrestler, and how this completely functions and what's okay and not in these risks and how things are taken. But in a day where I watched one of, I think, FTR get pulled in a dog collar match and somersault and flat back onto a stack of chairs on the outside from the top turnbuckle, and then to see somebody take what looked like, presuming their head was okay, yes, she missed the table, but she still hit flat, and I can't imagine that surface is just concrete, okay? Because if I recall, there was a big AEW logo over it, so there's some kind of floor covering, which I feel they would make as sort of a mat thing if they plan to do something like that. But so I don't think, are wrestlers complaining about this?
Couple people. I've seen a couple say that it was a pretty nasty spot. No one is out and out revolted by it. I don't think.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
And that's my temperature. Like as fans, we don't know shit. Okay, that
no,
looks
but just like it looks like I understand I understand it's a match-ending spot for the two of them in that match,
in a similar error. I mean, Tony, you were there for this. We saw a similar table error happen. Last month with one of the matches we were talking about. Listen, everybody's having table troubles lately.
But like even just from a logistics standpoint, in the context of the match, why would you put a table out if you're not going to put that person through the table?
No. Oh yeah.
Just from a logistic story, like put two tables out.
Okay.
That's the reason there were always two tables for those kinds of spots.
But
always.
But also, there's you have two tables and the second one doesn't break. You know, I mean, like things like that. We've seen that in AEW, in local indies. We need a table technician to talk to us about this.
You know what? I can see 3 reasons why it's being made a big deal right now. First of all, they're women.
Mm-hmm.
If this was 2 guys, it would blow over in 5 seconds. No, but
I'd still say the same thing if it was 2 guys.
I think Darby Allin.
I'm saying it wouldn't get the traction.
Darby Allin.
Darby
Allin does
it wouldn't have gotten the traction.
Darby Allin does Jupiter stuff to himself in each match by design.
Yes,
and that's why I don't like Darby Allin.
Yeah. AEW does have not necessarily. I'm talking history of AEW. There are spots where stuff happens, Matt Hardy, going off of high area onto concrete, and they shouldn't really continue a match.
Mm-hmm.
There's a history at AEW kind of saying, "Oh, you look okay, keep going," you know. And third, some idiot. I'm sorry I'm sorry for going after a person who said, "Oh, look at this horrible spot. Mick Foley wouldn't even do this on in his prime." And the response was, "Have you not seen a Mick Foley match?" It was, and someone showed Mick taking a flatback on bare concrete from like the late 80s, maybe early 90s.
Mick took a bump at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
It was Mick doing the Nestea splash onto concrete.
Listen.
On his head. And I think that took off too.
I witnessed somebody take about 10 straight headshots with chairs a month ago, and I asked somebody that was involved in it, and they're like, "That's what he wanted." I'm like, and it's like, okay, I'm like, these are fucking adults making decisions. We can talk about whether being a pro wrestler in general is a good decision. But what was
the thing is,
my favorite? My favorite
people
quote.
Putting together the match. People putting together the match and putting together the spots have a responsibility for the performers.
Sure.
Just in case. Mm-hmm. And plus, especially when we just got Adam Cole back, who was down for repeated concussion issues. Mm-hmm. And plus, the last thing you want to see in wrestling for a stupid spot is something like what happened at that Bills-Bengals game a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, if there can be more precautions taken, I'm not saying you take the spot out. The spot was perfectly fine. I'm saying you just make sure everyone is as protected as humanly possible. If that means that a spot needs to be reworked for, a taped show, you fucking do it.
No, here's this is something that I struggle to fathom. When watching pro wrestling for so many years, seeing things that we've seeing things like even the Ospreay Kenny Omega match from a few weeks ago, these guys and girls are doing like a very physical thing, and I believe that was a little later in the match, right? And
it was the finish spot.
It was the finish spot. So you just did like probably 10 minutes of strenuous action, right? And now you have to hit this spot and hit this perfectly so nobody gets hurt. And this isn't a fault on Willow, but if she maybe didn't hit it right, miscalculated.
No, Willow hit it exactly how you're supposed to hit it. It's just there needs to be another table there.
I actually
but I've seen it so many times with one table with a fucking 80-year-old lady.
Except for when it happened to Mae Young, there was padding around Mae Young. Everyone forgets about that padding. That and also, and I have to stress this really hardly. Bubba, that was the softest powerbomb in Bubba's history.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Willow did everything she possibly could to have protected Anna. The spot itself, second table is my only gripe there. Everything else is, it was a wrestling spot. It was a hardcore wrestling spot. I have no problem with it, except for I wish someone would have looked at the logistics and said, you might want to add a second table. I don't know who says that. I don't know who has the gall to say that. The girls shut up. They crushed that match.
Oh yeah, no, they kicked ass in the match.
So
and credit where credit's due. It was the main event too.
And to Tina's point, and she said, I've seen mostly neckbeards complaining. She's 100% on the mark here. And to amplify that, because I have a little bit of a neckbeard, I hope you're not being insulting me here, Tina. I think if
Tony hates 8-year-old girls and Tina.
I don't think Tina's targeting either of us.
Okay, good. There's a lot of people who have made the point, including on this show in the last few seconds, Mike, and I agree with him. If a guy did that spot, it would pass. Podner said it too. If a guy did that spot, it would pass. And that's disgusting. Now, the match was over. You check on people. I know it's a tape show. You've already done the thing. If she checks out, you put it on tape. As long as she's walking and the doctor cleared it, you put it on tape, even if it's that gnarly. And it was gnarly.
Oh
but
yeah,
you're not wasting that footage.
I'm glad she's okay in there. Like that was the first thing I asked. Like I'm like, I saw that spot. I'm like, is Anna Jay okay? Like I was looking for updates to see like that she was fine and tweeting or whatever. Like, because it was a nasty looking spot. I just. I don't like to worry about the performers when I'm watching a show like that.
Except for that's kind of what they want.
That's kind of the point, isn't it? It was I was like, oh shit, is Will Ospreay really have a concussion? Is he really out of it?
But Anna Jay's a heel.
Okay.
We're not supposed to be trying to garner sympathy for a heel during a nasty spot.
Yes.
So I mean,
you must hate ladder matches.
Mike, I'm gonna slightly disagree with you here in a little bit of a thing, and this is kind of like just my personal view on things. Like, you can have a moment in a match where it's face versus heel, and you start to realize that the heel and the face have both lost control of their senses. So then you start worrying about the heel because the face has gone ape. Willow doing that spot was that moment where she had just thrown caution to the wind and said, I'm going to murder this person to win this match. I think they're allowed to go, okay, we've tipped the scales a little bit here. It's not going to last. Willow's still a face. Anna Jay's still a heel.
It still takes you for a ride.
That moment, it takes you for such a ride.
And
then you start doubting your own inhibitions, and that's good storytelling.
I know. No, I mean, I think I'm also looking at it from, like, I'm not looking at it from a strictly fan level perspective.
Fair point.
Just based on the stuff we've seen where people have really gotten legitimately injured on stuff that could have been. It didn't take away from my enjoyment of the match. The match was great. The match was fantastic. I just immediately went to Twitter. I'm like, is she okay? Because I do that for nasty looking bumps on every time I see a nasty looking bump now, just because we've seen it so many times where someone has gotten really badly fucked up, like Big E recently, like Big E, R-Truth, even R-Truth on NXT, like that was a nasty bump that he had on a show, and it was just like you feel for the actual, you feel for the human being, not
absolutely.
To give. The final thing is you do bring up a great point about just in general, like we know what spots look like when they go bad. I really wish that AEW, that was a great hardcore tag team women's match. Tony, for the love of God, you have a really good women's roster. You don't have to do tag teams constantly. You can do singles matches without the violence, without the blood. If they want to prove something, you have to be the one to say you don't have to prove anything. You're one of the top women's wrestlers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're wrestling for, in our mind, the best company in the U.S., and you have a feature spot on this show. You don't have to kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go out there and wrestle. Have a wrestling match, because you don't need the table stuff. It's great to end a feud. I think, throwing the rules out is a great way to end a blood feud. But I don't know if this was a blood feud. You know what I mean?
But see, if that was Ruby doing the spot to
fair.
To Tay, that's a different story. But Willow and Anna were kind of like glom-ons to make it a tag team match. Because, like Anna and Tay are in the JAS, so it makes sense.
I get that part. I guess my lockup is Willow and Jay there.
Yeah,
like maybe
if it was Ruby doing the spot, that makes a lot more sense to me. Even if she's doing it to Anna and Tay.
This is one of those things where probably if Statlander wasn't injured, she would have been involved in something like this, because I think she had a long-standing thing that they were working with.
I think so, yeah.
So, I think this is also kind of we worked it out of the real injury that Ruby had, with a match involving Tay. I can't remember. Thank you. Tina's in there saying it's oh no, this is the wrong one. Ruby had this street fight was a good bow on a long-term story, and also they don't do. Yeah, AEW definitely does blood more often than other companies on this level, but also they don't do like a drag out bloodfest women's match like this very often. Like I know we think about it, we see it in the highlights all the time, but it was like
it's been getting more and more.
We 2 or 3 times a year. Anytime where there is blood, it seems incidental because everybody's going so hard. But other than that, I think it's been a pretty. It's not. They're not like we're not bleeding all over the place every week on Dynamite, right? Or anything.
Not
like
anymore.
Unless you're Moxley.
Unless you're
not
Moxley.
anymore.
Yeah. I mean, Moxley.
Electra Moxley, yeah.
Yeah. Moxley just
he
loves
bleeds to walk into the ring.
Yes, we know local wrestlers that do the same thing.
I 100%. But there are times when I'd be okay with AEW having a pay-per-view that didn't have blood in it, just once, just to freshen things up. I'm not an anti-blood guy. I grew up in the Attitude Era, for God's sakes. Like, blood is a great sign that this is going to the next level. But we just had a 2-on-2-on-2 tables match at RWA, the last frontier of pro wrestling, and there was no blood there because they just beat the shit out of each other. If they bled, okay, but none of their heads decided to pop. We didn't have to force anything here. You don't have to all the time.
Yeah, like I know I've heard that blading is safer because it's controlled and everything like that.
Sure.
It's I mean, like it or not.
I don't think
it's part of the business.
I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, like I don't think it's necessary for every feud ender, especially like you said, you can have hardcore matches without blood. Like happens all the time.
And it depends on who it is, because I mean, I feel like, and Tony, I think we know the same people. I feel like if they wanted to, if they could, they would bleed every match.
Yeah,
that they're in. Like, this is a mentality. They're like, no, this is wrestling.
3 to 4 people came to my head instantly when you said that.
Oh my God, yes. I have PTSD images pop into my head right now, and
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and geez, again, chills. Anyways,
sorry. I apologize. I've apologized a dozen times for that. It's like, I don't know what you're
I've seen too many war games, dude. I've just but yeah. So I mean, it's. Well, I'm glad we didn't have the debate that everybody else is happening on this.
I'm just glad.
Tina has a great
I'm glad
point.
everyone in the spot is okay, and they had a fantastic match.
And Tina brings up the point that I stress all the time to people. At the end of the day, blood is just an additional element to tell a story. It's all about the story.
Yep.
And blood is the same as a sling in the arm. Like when you're selling an injury or whatever. It's all part of the show. So as long as everyone got to their hotel at the end of the night, who gives a shit?
Ugh. Now you give me other kinds of
Well,
flashbacks.
Well, real quick, because wasn't the first time we saw blood for a women's match on AEW the Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, which, as far as I know, that was
an accident.
Wasn't that like? Yeah, that was an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
no,
it was an
absolutely.
accident because it like Becky's broken nose because of Nia Jax, and there was
of
blood.
course.
I mean, that's a great visual, but when you almost expect blood, like Tony was saying, oh, it's an AEW main event. How soon are people going to start bleeding?
Wait. Is this something he said? Is this something he said, or something we're inferring?
No.
Well, no, it's Tony. Our Tony, I'm sorry. Our Tony.
Oh, okay.
Our Tony saying
The one we
had
had. He literally said it 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he said that when he said that. Oh, it'd be nice if AEW would put a pay-per-view and not there'd be no blood. It's like oh, it's AEW pay. It's a main event. When's blood going to come out? It's almost when it's expected, it's not a shock value. So
and
you can't
I hate
really
to say
add
it,
on if you're expecting.
And I hate to say it, if you're trying to build fans, blood isn't necessarily the way to go.
You know what?
No, I'm just saying, like, I have personal experience from this. Like, I was watching Rampage, and my wife happened to be passing by, and she saw when that match was on, and she's like, "Oh, see, this is why I stopped watching wrestling back in the day."
Yeah,
a lot of people don't like to see that shit,
and I understand
just in
that.
general.
But again, going back to Tina's point about the visuals, like, what are the biggest visuals in Britt Baker's visual with the mask and all that stuff and the blood, and that was purely accidental.
But she had the presence to lean into
exactly,
it.
which everyone
and
in
it was
this
also
room,
accidental. It wasn't planned.
right? And every one of us in this call right now on this podcast, and everyone in chat knows that that's the Britt Baker we all knew.
And Tony, I'm sorry to interrupt, but even we were talking about Mikey earlier with Top Rope Tabletop. Like when I chatted with him before your show, I caught up. I was like, "Hey, yeah, I was there that time that you busted your head on a guardrail outside."
Yeah.
And I remember because I talked to him after that match, and he's like, "Yeah, I just saw blood." And he was like, he got cut like somewhere like on the base of his neck or in the back of his head or something. It was just kind of bleeding around. And he's just like, yeah, I was on another level after I saw the blood, and like he amped it up, it enhanced the match. It was accidental, but you fucking use it, right? And that was it can add on to a match.
Now, let me say
sure
this.
can.
They're like, oh shit, this got real. That's real blood.
I like accidental blood way better than bleeding.
Well, let's.
I've always said that.
Then let's put it to the opposite end of that. Where does the shock value of blood rank versus, say, the guy who was just announced for the Royal Rumble yesterday and Cody Rhodes when he came out with the torn pec? It's the same concept, right? That busted pec changed before the bell even rung. That match was already brought up to a level that it was not ready for. And it took two very good, very great pro wrestlers to tell a hell of a story and make sure that match was one of the best matches of the year. And that went from, this is going to be a good match, to holy shit, and the bell hadn't even rung yet. Flip that with the Becky thing, with Becky busting her nose with Nia Jax. That visual of her standing on the steps, and she was concussed, but she still had the presence of selling that. That made the man. That made main event of WrestleMania. So these all work in certain things. But you don't see Becky blading all the time.
No, exactly. That's the thing. Like that's why I like.
I'm not touching
when
that.
It happens
I'm not touching that.
That's why I like when it happens accident.
We're not that kind of podcast to make that kind of joke. Thank you.
I didn't even look at what Tina said.
You're trying to get us into trouble.
Jeez, come on.
I didn't even look what Tina said, and I know what Tina said.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, like that's why I like accidental blood better than bleeding, because bleeding is like, it's almost so forced because you see them like turn their head down, you see the referee come
Not if they're fucking doing it right. Not if they're fucking doing it right. Trust me.
Well, the last couple ones I've seen on AEW, they ain't fucking doing it right then.
No, yeah.
Because
so
like
that's also
the spot that happened with Ruby, I don't even think she hit her head.
That's also
if you're
production.
gonna do it, you have to do it fucking well.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but I can't stress that how much that's on. It's not like our setups where we have 3 cameras and it's really hard to find a clean angle sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They have 6 cameras. They can find a clean angle.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is the wrestlers need to be smart and know exactly where to position themselves, but also some of it is the producer in the truck going, okay, go to 2.
I have seen, and again, being very, very, very close to the action, Tony, I have seen the slickest blade jobs.
Oh yeah,
I've seen the slickest blade drops, where you just wouldn't even know if you weren't paying attention. Like, we know they'll see it, right? And Mike, I think we all have I think everybody sitting here on this show has the symptom of, we've been watching wrestling for 20, 30 years.
Anyone who's seen the wrestler now knows what it is.
Yeah, okay, but not everybody's seen the wrestler. I would say
a lot of people have seen it.
But I will, and I want to go to these numbers. I go to a WWE show. I can't tell you a quarter of the people in that arena have seen the wrestler and know this stuff and care about.
This stuff. But at WWE, you're also not going to see. You're not going to see blading.
No, okay.
It's a common concept, but there's still a lot of people who think we load blood capsules up in here.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And the number is higher than any of us really want to admit, because we are wrestling is based in carnival settings. That's too carny for us. We're not loading blood capsules here. We're not Roman Reigns 6 years ago or whenever he did it. We're not doing that. The big issue is and Sorg, I've seen some slick ones too. I knew that was where they were going to do it because I was given the heads up to call it, because we didn't have a screen, so we wouldn't have been able to see it. But we had to call it so you could flip post. But it was smooth as butter. Like it was. I mean, Penn and Teller would have given them a trophy for it. And
you're still in front of 200 people that need to not see it.
And it's a legit 200 people, because the place I'm talking about gets 200 people, unlike some other places that we won't talk about. Okay, I tried so hard, Sorg. I promised, and I failed.
Wow. So,
anyway, okay, well, that's enough for me tonight. What I learned in wrestling was
is to not give Tony a live mic.
Transition!
Alive. Hold on, I need to wake up too. Let me get a little sip from my cup of Scientology here.
Oh God.
Yes.
Wait, I don't know if I get that reference. I don't know if I want to get that reference.
Brother, are you clear, brother? Which level are you, brother?
No, there was a story going around. I think Riz shared it in the Discord.
Hulk Hogan's a Scientologist now?
He's dating a Scientologist and did a photo op at an event.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
Boy. Okay.
If you're dating
I wonder,
a Scientologist, you're basically a Scientologist.
I wonder what his thetan levels are, brother.
Hey, say your prayers.
You gotta say your prayers, and check your thetan levels.
He says say your prayers. He didn't say what you needed to pray to. So I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Now his promos with Warrior make a lot more sense. The spaceship with the rocket full.
Do you think he calls him L. Ron brother?
Oh, that's 2 back-to-back really good zingers right there. 2 good ones.
I am never short of a Hulk Hogan zinger. I am never short.
Just let it go. Just let it go, Mike. Sorry, I just reposted your frozen Hulk Hogan Mid-Journey AI thing.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I don't even know what made me think of that.
Did you guys see the babies?
Yes, I saw the Sorg. How much does it cost to sign up for this thing?
$10. $10 a month.
A month? Fuck that. Oh, fuck that.
Listen, the babies.
If it was a one-time thing, sure.
The babies are the WWE babies were sitting at the after show or at the after party venue with Katie and Missy. Those are all her. Those are all both of them actually. So.
Sorg, you know one of those creations is getting booked in Mayhem Mania, right? Oh my God, can we do our match graphics in there?
Listen, Sorg is doing the match graphics, and Sorg is going to lay down some fucking ground rules this year. So this is the biggest. Okay, first of all, yeah, we'll show the babies.
Sorg,
here.
have you done the AI generator for Chris Jericho in a suit yet?
No shit, I have not. I need to. I need to. No, I'm sourcing. Listen, the graphics need to work a very specific way for what I have planned, and
yeah.
This is
true.
I have stated this is a back to basics deal this year. Okay, we're getting back to the roots. We are rebuilding. This is a rebuilding year for Mayhem Mania. It got a little crazy last year, so we're gonna go around to it. But in the meantime, if you're on video with us, this is the babies. I don't know if Tony, you've seen these yet.
Oh yeah, I saw them.
I mean,
I
Bruno
saw
Sammartino.
Mm-hmm.
There's some interesting choices here. British Bulldog. I love the one that he's just a bulldog that's a baby. So that's interesting. Stone Cold Steve Austin. They gave hair. Great Khali. That's for you, Riz. That's really good. That's really good. Brock Lesnar.
That one was good.
Oh my God, these are fantastic.
The Ultimate
I
Warrior.
didn't see all of these.
Sensational
Holy
Sherry
shit.
is part of this. Dusty Rhodes.
Sorg, can I give you a couple of requests?
No, but Miss Elizabeth is in here. Randy Savage.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about Piper.
Yeah. The Piper was weird. Piper's old lady, old lady, was spot on.
Oh my God.
Triple H. There you go.
Oh my, Luna. Oh,
That's on about all of our accounts to have video.
It's amazing. It ain't worth $10 a month for me, bro.
Oh, it is worth much more than that. You should have seen what we ended up doing between ChatGPT and Midjourney on the drive home. I have never heard Dutters fall apart.
Cackle.
Yeah, like the level of cackle. I've known her for over a decade. I have never heard her respond to a chat to anything.
If there's something,
it is.
That is up Dutter's alley.
It is. I will.
That is up her alley in her street.
We have a special.
going into her house.
We have a special video we're going to do with this. I'm going to tell you it involves R-Truth in a coffee shop.
Excellent.
And just before you ask,
also Sorg, I want you to put in Kevin Owens as a zookeeper.
Okay, we'll work on that.
I would say Kevin Owens and Panda related. Yes.
Yeah. So I have paid for Midjourney myself because this is too good. And I think Missy is too. So now we're putting extra money into it. But anyways, it's also like we've been using it for cover art. It's been fantastic for that kind of stuff. So. If you can't pay, if you have podcast money and can't pay for an artist, I think it's okay, and as far as legal goes, they're figuring that out right now. So we'll figure out what happens with that. So
I mean, after all, they're only getting sued by multiple people, but that's them.
But I mean, this was
that's a
gonna
damn
happen.
thing.
This was.
I mean, who among us isn't getting sued by multiple people?
I mean, while you have a future endeavor there from the WWE, I have a cease and desist email from the WWE. So from several years ago.
Fascinating.
Yes. Oh, you know about that. I was.
From several. I thought you got a new one. I'm like,
no.
I didn't hear about
that. Not lately.
Good. Let's let us keep it that way.
Yes, I can.
I'm expecting a cease and desist from Critical Role real soon. So like,
what? Why?
We've been towing the line real close.
Oh really? In format or something?
No, we slipped up with catchphrases and trademark catchphrares. So
we've
gone better. We've gotten a little bit better.
Well, I mean, that's your influence, I mean.
Oh no, it's like we're not profiting from it, so it's not like.
Oh, trust me, nobody's making money off of this. So that kind of thing. It's like that that's where you can play, and that's okay, and it's a fun thing.
Not yet, or Patreon's coming soon though.
I mean, but who knows? You got people in Seattle watching your show. I don't know. Looking at I think we got some people in Israel that might be watching some of this stuff. It's getting real interesting right now. So, but anyways, well, that's enough of this. What did you learn from wrestling this week? Before I get Tony in more trouble.
Oh boy. I'll go first. I learned two things. Okay. I learned that boy have I missed Adam Cole on my television.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not the one to dethrone MJF, what the fuck are we doing? because that face pop he got.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, brother, that if you want someone to go up against MJF, that'll be a fantastic rival.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing I learned goes back to something that we saw on the Facebook chat. So Sorg, you brought up a post about Young Rock.
Oh, well,
and
let me pull the post up.
Yeah, well, I mean, the post isn't going to help with what I learned.
Oh, okay.
I was going to look and see if I could find a picture of what I learned. And actually, I may do that for the Patreon people. But so a lot of people are giving Young Rock shit because of the casting of like The Undertaker and Triple H and Jim Ross and stuff like that, and all that's fair. That's fine. But the thing is, they got the attitudes right about most.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll say that the attitudes are there mostly. But the one Young Rock casting that I haven't seen a lot of people give grief to, they cast Dusty Rhodes. Ooh, the casting of Dusty Rhodes looks like the comedian Fortune Feimster. And if you don't know who Fortune Feimster is, just do a quick Google. That's basically who they cast as Dusty Rhodes, and it looks really awkward. Like, it looks really, really unsettling. And I don't know how I got through that part of it. And granted, wasn't in the episode for long.
Mm-mm.
I don't even know if there was like a clear like.
It was a quick flash for sure.
Yeah, but it was uncomfortable. I'm trying to bring up, see if I can get a screen cap of Dusty Rhodes.
I think I'm just looking up that and I'm finding like a bunch of. I think I'm seeing pictures of the guy that is playing him, but not as Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a screen cap of it. I got my Peacock open right now.
Okay, you got your Peacock.
Yeah.
You might not be able to screen cap because they usually block those.
I'll figure something.
Yeah, special tools.
Yeah, I got the tools. I got the
bestowed
talent.
upon him by Jesus, God, and Vince McMahon. So what is this? Nope, that's not it. That's rappers talking about him. Anyways, whatever. Wait a minute. Who plays? Oh no, that's wrong. Okay. For some reason, as I had a split second where I thought Kurgan played Andre, but that's not right. Because I need more juice. Tony, what'd you learn from wrestling this week?
I learned that, good Lord, people are annoying. No, I learned
8-year-old girls.
Especially 8-year-old girls. No, I learned that there's still some things that can surprise me in pro wrestling from a day to day, not just on TV. Even though things in the penthouses of television wrestling are weird, the indies are kicking really well. So if you're frustrated with the TV wrestling right now for whatever reason, you can watch your TV stuff. You can also DVR it and watch indiewrestling.us or go out to a live show. And I can't stress this enough. You want to support the art of professional wrestling and don't like what's going on in WWE, AEW, maybe you don't like some of New Japan stuff, maybe you don't like other things. All that's fine, but you still love pro wrestling. Find a local independent company. You know, Tina, Defy, you're out there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hear nothing but good things about Defy.
And
support Defy.
And my God, did they represent on that AEW show?
Support those companies. Support as many as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Because I swear, wrestling will come out the other side, but only if we support the next batch. And they're coming through the independents, not through the Performance Center. They're coming through the independents. The second thing I learned, and sorry, this is an exclusive just for you, is that Wrestle Mayhem Show has a new Patreon because I wanted to be your boss.
No,
you are now.
No way, you're my boss now?
At least partially. I will be giving you money for all of 2023.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh,
just
there
so
it is.
Every week you have to say that
meet rats in a trench coat?
That is me.
So our what level is that? I can't. What is that level again? What? It doesn't say on the email, unfortunately.
Sorry, 1 second. I'll let you know.
And
I'm part of the Poppy Club, I guess.
Poppy Club. Under the Poppy Club, I think it was with what you partner, right? Is the the rats in a trench coat.
No, I want you to know.
Missy's wife of the show is in the chat room, probably to see if I'm coming home soon. The answer, as usual, this at midnight 07 is no, because we still have an after show.
Check
potentially
your Slack DMs.
Oh no! Oh, now what?
Check your Slack.
But she
DMs.
says she'll be getting the business cards ready for you, rats in a trench coat.
Thank you. No, that is my screen name because funny thing, there's a hilarious monster in Dungeons and Dragons called 30 Rats in a Trench Coat. It is hilarious. I laughed my ass off and made that my screen name for both Patreon and my PlayStation. So it is hilarious, but that is Tony Kincaid. Rats in a Trench Coat, that is Tony Kincaid. And Tony Kincaid now owns part of Wrestle Mayhem Show. The name on the contract may say trench coat, but it's rats in a trench coat.
Okay, and just to bring this thread back around, here's a picture of Dusty.
Oh, that's awful.
Looks more like an Adrian Adonis.
I'm telling you, look up the comedian Fortune Feimster.
That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous George.
Nope, that's Dusty.
Feels like it.
Yeah. Hold on. Fortune.
Missy with the line, despite all his rage, he is still just a rat in a trench coat.
Are you looking at Fortune Feimster?
Podner? No, I'm moving on because I need to end the show sooner or later.
Okay.
I meant to end the show about 30 minutes ago, and we kept going.
I need to end the show too because I have to go to work.
No after show this week. Sorry, guys. We have extra show.
Okay.
I've been trying to keep the show short for Podner's sake, but Podner's on the show, contributing an extra half an hour. You're doing it to yourself, Podner.
I'm doing it to myself. No!
At least you're intimately aware of the good stuff on the show now.
That is true. So, what I learned
why are all these clips this week of Podner? What is weird? Okay.
I have one more to hit the trifecta of the shows I clipped for.
Yes.
But no, the thing I learned was I happened on TikTok, the bunny from the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, and she has some really good behind the scenes, day in the life of a wrestler. Just like, oh, here's me waking up first thing in the morning. Here's me, getting my stuff together. And she mentioned on one of them that she's doing her first half marathon in May.
Ooh.
And she said, I'm thinking about doing a series about her training. We're like, yeah, that'd be interesting to see. So it'll be interesting to see someone who's a current wrestler train for a half. And I even said, and she responded to me on her TikTok. I said, I'm interested to see what the difference in cardio is between wrestling cardio and running cardio. Because I've heard enough wrestlers say there's ring shape and then there's, gym shape. And it's similar with running, especially when you get to the medium to longer distances. I'm sure she's going to be much quicker than me and everything else, blah, 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 blah. But, even people who are relatively quick for a half, you're talking an hour and a half to 2 hours. If you're a relatively quick runner in terms of being in the masses, an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that's a good amount of time where you're having to keep your cardio up and legs and knees and mentally as you're, running around with a whole bunch of other people. So like I said, I'm kind of curious to see, and she's on Instagram of Alley Wrestling. I think she's posting both to Instagram and TikTok the same. And she's basically doing TikTok and then posting it to her Instagram Reels too. So, like I said, it's kind of if you're interested in the, here's the person behind the character and what she goes through, just in terms of her travels and running with scissors and doing just her kind of behind the scenes. If you're interested, it's a good. It's a good Instagram to follow.
I've seen this is kind of a fun trend you've seen with a lot of these. She's taking a lot of clips during the day, and then I think she just kind of puts them together, and there's actually a voiceover on it. If you've seen the Dan Housen's toy vlog is kind of the same way, where they kind of throw the clips in, and then he just kind of voices over what's going on. So I'm always fascinated when I see these, like, here it is here. Where were they just this week? They were just in LA, weren't they? Is this the LA one? Maybe. But when I see
sure.
like VTE, I'm just like, I know that airport. They're people just like me on planes. Stuff like that. So it just kind of like it's kind of fun to like see that and have that little connection with something like that. So very cool. Very, very cool. From the chat, Brandon and KC, I've learned that nobody wants Vince back in WWE after the new lawsuit dropped this morning. Yeah, there's a lot of lawsuits. I'm not going to get in all that. You can read the stuff. There's a lot of turmoil going on around there.
I avoid it for a reason. I don't want to talk about it.
We're not going to get into that. Maybe when something more concrete happens with everything, but it's all kind of hearsay and this and that and legals.
The one good thing is this latest lawsuit is strictly business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not WWE business, as stock business.
Mm-hmm.
The one that came out this morning.
Probably the only thing that will kill the man.
Yes.
Tina's
go ahead.
A certain podcaster said the only one who could take WWE down is WWE. I remember someone who was on this Zoom call saying that a long time ago.
Oh, so we have to adjust the rundown of Mayhem Mania, how it works a little bit. I don't think we can use the one gag anymore. Anyways, Tina's also learned how impatient wrestling fans are and how just the mention of a match can sell out a show. The IWGP Women's Title match announcement sold out Battle in the Valley for New Japan Pro Wrestling. That show is still not until February 18th. It's sold out. We don't even have travel info to send Missy out there.
Monet.
It's amazing how many people were complaining on Twitter that Monet would never draw, and yet here we are.
I think we're just getting to some other matches, and they're like New Japan Strong stuff. So,
who'd have thunk that the internet doesn't know what draws crowds, huh?
Well, I mean, it depends. God, what did I learn? Was there anybody else I missed from the chat room? Maybe. I think that's everything because everything else was Dave. Yes. I learned first dead balls are great for wrestling. God, it is. We especially like I know today there's a lot of Tony. We kind of addressed like some of the background talk that's been happening around our local circles in wrestling here in the area. And it was great to be back at Rise this past weekend and kind of, again, just every time I go back to a local promotion, it's just like a homecoming for me. Because usually I have not been there for a while because of recent schedules. And I've been able to get back to almost every one or will be within these 2 months. And it just reminds me like that is, for all the, hey, maybe we don't like this guy around or something like that happens. We hear enough of the complaints about other people in the locker rooms. But like still like overall that vibe is incredible. Between what the fans are experiencing, between seeing the fans, whether it be people that even Bradley at the shows who calls me out for walking by him because I'm on a mission for something or another, to see to see the K's that run the Rise Wrestling that I haven't seen forever, to see the crews and everything. Like it's really cool to get back to that. I just for me that vibe is incredible. And it's very cool to have that here in Pittsburgh, to see that in other places. So Chicago, Seattle, wherever it may be. Those are pretty much my towns now, aren't they, at this point? So, But no, that's what I learned. I'm just kind of appreciating what we have here in Pittsburgh, what we have in indie wrestling, and that's happening at every level because the fans are experiencing a lot of the same things too out there in the crowds. So, and that's really, really cool to see. So good vibes all around. Supporting your local indie wrestling, but definitely support, if you got a choice, support the ones with the good vibes, because that's important. I learned that dead ball wrestling probably should be a thing. Don't give me more wrestling ideas. I'm already trying to work on too many projects. So, thank you, Tony Kincaid. He's on the Twitters.
Mr. Kincaid.
Mr. Rats in Trenchcoat Kincaid.
Yes. Facebook,
new
Twitter,
boss to the Patreon. Yep. Boss of the Wrestling Mayhem show. Oh boy.
See you next week.
See, Eddie.
But no, for real. See you next week.
For real, he's coming on. Doc is going to be on as well, and I'm sure we're going to talk the fallout from RWA. We're going to talk what's coming up at Prospect Pro Wrestling Big Memorial Show next Friday. If you are in the area, please go check out RWA. And again, we're
going to be talking Rumble next week.
We'll be talking Rumble. Yeah, we'll be leading the Rumble too. Big Wrestle Weekend the next weekend. I will be in South Bend, Indiana this weekend for Warrior Wrestling. It's going to be a crazy show. I'm going to experience Vikingo from AAA apparently. You probably won't because he's not allowed to be streamed last I knew, but that'll be an experience. So I'll let you know. Theater of the Mind. I'll let you know how it went, I suppose. So I don't know. I presume the embargo is still going to be on streaming Mr. Vikingo. I don't even know if I'm saying that properly, but anyways. So looking forward to that and being back at War again. I haven't seen them since June, so it'll be good to see Steve and the crew out there. So. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being a part of the Wrestling Mayhem show. We'll see you guys next week. We are 2 weeks out from Mayhem Mania. Start getting your picks ready. Get your Patreons ready. And we'll be having the new rule set to the Advanced Mayhem Mania rules version 5 coming out very, very shortly. So we'll see you then. Until then,
Mayhem Mania 5e. Bye.
Mayhem out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.